anyone else get nervous when going to events sometimes? Even though you know the people that are going to be there? Like, right now, heading to bowling night with the people from Bible study, so it'd be nice. Haven't bowled since, honestly, probably last fall. But we got the shoes, so we don't have to pay for them, honestly. Great investment that I made a few years ago of purchasing bowling shoes, so I don't have to pay them every time I go to Elaine's. But obviously it made more sense when I was on a team. But at the moment, the shoes still fit me, so I will use them until the shoes are like torn up and yeah. So, although the bottom of them are pretty dirty, I would say, just from the alley lane floors. But I guess not the lane, just the floors. Because the lane is actually where the oil part is, where the ball is rolling down, and you're not supposed to step on those. So, yeah. But that's Friday night for you. It's also Parents' Weekend, and I don't think anyone realized that when scheduling this bowling night, so I don't know if anyone called ahead, or I guess we'll just see when we get there. I am going to be quite a bit early. You know that feeling where you just like, you just have to go? That's what I did. I left, took the trash out, because it was like some boxes, and yeah. That's about it. I'm just gonna leave y'all on that and stay tuned for the next clip. Okay, so this is what happened this evening. As you can tell, it's dark out, and the last clip you saw was me going to the bowling alley, specifically the student union. But here's the thing, Parents' Weekend, if I haven't mentioned that earlier, bowling alley was like full because of a Parent Weekend event, and so because of that, I showed up early. There was one of the leaders there. He was like honestly walking out as I was walking in, and he's just like, hold on, because downstairs is packed and they're saying like minimum 30 minutes wait, but it'll probably be an hour. And honestly, there's probably people still bowling at the union because they close at midnight. And he said, we're probably not gonna get a spot. Fun fact, if you're gonna bowl at the FSU bowling alley, you want to reserve a spot, it has to be at least 8 days before that time slot. And they tried to do it earlier this week for like Monday, reserve Monday for Friday. They called in on Monday to try it for Friday, and there's like, sorry, you're a few days late to reserve for Friday. And so he thought like, oh, we'll just go early. Because Parents' Weekend it's like a month into school, yet somehow it's Parents' Weekend, and it's just like, it surprised everyone like how quick it came. So we weren't prepared for that. Suggestions were made of where to go, because it was like 10 minutes before people were going to start showing up. Some people already were there, all that jazz, and we ended up going off campus. But here's the thing, I walked, right? And like to get to my car is like a good 30 minutes walk again. But thankfully, the lady I ran into, he offered to drive, so that was nice. I didn't have to drive at all for one night, for once. Like that was a blessing. I don't know, axe throwing was mentioned at some point. Someone one of the other leaders stated, just send everyone to this ice cream place. And we was like, that's weird. Ice cream before dinner, because we were planning on getting dinner later. And she's like, yeah, I already had dinner. So it was like, that makes sense. So we were outside an ice cream place, because it's one of those things where you just order at the window. Just there for an hour, waiting for everyone to show up. And then we all drove to dinner at some Mexican place. First time I was there. And like, it was cool. It was fun chatting with everyone. Outside of like Bible study and just getting to know everybody more and connecting with people. So yeah, spent 3 hours outside of my place, which was nice because the only time I do that is for school. So, or when I'm at the library. So it was just nice to like hang out with everyone and all that. So if you ever have like the opportunity where like a whole group is invited, like you're in that group, to like do a event that's not during the usual group time, go, because tonight it was an adventure of how we went from we were supposed to meet at the student union, and there was like, okay, everyone meet at this ice cream place where like some people knew what it was and then others didn't, but it worked out because it was on the way to where we normally have our city group. So that's good, because it meant like the roads were somewhat familiar. And then we went to another place, and it was like this whole adventure of how even people who drove to the ice cream parlor, they didn't drove to dinner, because there's like, you know, it's like, instead of taking more than one car, I'm just gonna like carpool with you and you would just drive me back to my car. And it was like a fun adventure for a Friday night, honestly. And yeah, it was just nice to have something like that, especially with like last year I was just basically on my own. There wasn't any really sort of friend group besides for like that chemistry study group, but that wasn't until spring semester. So it's nice having this early on in the school year and just like learning about everyone else, you know, and like just their stories or what they like. And like we literally explained marching band to someone else because she just didn't know what it was and she was curious. Like she knew the general concept, but she didn't like forgot what we actually talked about, but marching band was mentioned. and then like similar classes, like how I took a summer course, a course during the summer, and like someone else is currently taking it, all that jazz. And talking about Pilates and just like common interest that like it only comes up if it just like randomly pops into your head, and it all of a sudden like shared interests and all that jazz. So yeah, conclusion, it was like a fun night. It turned out to be really fun. So yeah. All right, now I gotta go to bed because speaking of Pilates, someone has it early in the morning and it's currently, it's almost Saturday. I'll just say that. It's almost Saturday and I have to be up in 8-ish hours. Now that I calculated, that's enough time to go to sleep. But I literally just got back and did not do any work. Like I had work on my bed because I was doing work before going to bowling because I'm like, I'll be productive. But I was thinking, oh, I'll do some after bowling too. Yeah, did not go to plan because one, bowling didn't happen, so that's being rescheduled. And then two, we basically just drove around Tallahassee. That's what happened. So yeah. But we knew not to go to College Town because we knew College Town would just be a mess to even drive in. Because it's College Town and it's Parents' Weekend, and in general, College Town is just not... It's hard to get through to College Town. Because there's just a lot going on because a decent amount of the students live there. And that is honestly walking area unless you have to drive your car. So yeah, it turns out Friday night is just going to be its own video. So because of that, thank you so much for joining in, and consider subscribing for more, what was I going to say, vlogs about college life and just trying to get a grasp of life, even though it doesn't feel like it. But life is young, and you just gotta be present in the moment and take what you have and just enjoy it, you know? Because if you don't enjoy it, then you're miserable. And why be miserable when you only have a certain amount of time on earth, you know? Like I understand everything's not perfect, but that does not mean your attitude towards it has to be negative. There's like a saying if you have a negative thought, that's okay. But if you spend more than 15 seconds on it, you're going to have whatever you spend 15 seconds or 17 seconds, like around that range, you're going to have, your brain's going to generate another thought similar until you change that thought. So that's why it's easy to have negative after negative, because you're spending so much time on it and you're so focused on it, and you're not switching out of that negative thought, that you're just generating more. So yeah, I had something else, but it's late and my bed's cozy and I want to go sleep. So night, and comment down below, how did your Friday night go? And did you ever had a group night planned out and then it just completely went off the rails? If you do, put it in the comments below and I want to read them. So yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.